You feel it, don't you? This deep, persistent ache of inadequacy, a sense that you are somehow unfinished, that you are a problem to be solved. You wake up and the feeling is there waiting for you like an old coat. You move through your day and it clings to you. This quiet, humming anxiety that you are not quite right, that you are in some fundamental way broken. And so you have spent years trying to fix yourself. You read the books, you listen to the podcasts, you analyze your past, you try to build new habits, to tear down old ones. You are in a constant state of self-construction, always sanding down an edge, always patching a perceived hole. You believe that if you could just find the right tool, the right insight, the right system, you could finally become whole. You could finally be worthy. You could finally rest. But the rest never comes. The feeling of being fixed never lasts. Because every time you solve one problem, another part of you seems to crack. You look at yourself in the mirror and you see the flaws. You replay conversations in your mind and you see the mistakes. You are your own harshest critic, your own most relentless judge. This feeling of being broken is your shadow, and it follows you everywhere. And yet, you look out at the world. You see the people who seem so sure, so complete, so loud. They navigate their lives with a seemingly effortless confidence. They gather in groups and their laughter is bright and sharp. They post their victories. They declare their opinions. They seem to have it all figured out. But you watch them, you listen, and you see something else. You see the performance. You see people who are desperately trying to convince each other that they are happy. You see them chasing things that glitter but have no warmth. They chase status. They chase approval. They chase the next distraction. You listen to their conversations. And what do you hear? You hear complaints but no desire for change. You hear gossip but there is no capacity for self-reflection. You hear judgment but no empathy. They speak but they do not listen. They look but they do not see. This is the sleeping world. It is a world of noise, a world of masks, a world where everyone is playing a part in a game that no one remembers agreeing to. They are running from the same silence that you are beginning to find comfort in. They fill their lives with trivialities, with endless business to avoid the one question that terrifies them. Is this all there is? They are asleep. They are dreaming a comfortable dream, and they are terrified of waking up. They defend their illusions with vigor. They insist that their dream is the only reality. But you are starting to wake up. And that is why you feel so broken. You are not broken. You are simply no longer compatible with their world. You have begun the Great Retreat. It was not a conscious decision. It was not a grand declaration of separation. It was a slow, quiet turning away. It began when the noise became too much. The small talk felt like a betrayal of your own soul. The endless performance left you exhausted. So you stopped. You stopped trying to fit in. You stopped trying to explain yourself. You stopped needing them to understand you. You found more comfort in the company of a tree than in a crowded room. You found more truth in silence than in their endless circular conversations. You began to disappoint them. You didn't show up to the parties you were supposed to. You didn't laugh at the jokes you were supposed to find funny. You didn't want the things you were supposed to want. You became quiet. You became an observer. You watch the game now from the sidelines, and you finally see it for what it is. A frantic dance of shadows. A desperate attempt to find meaning in meaninglessness. And in your quiet retreat, a new strength is being born. It is not the loud strength of the world. It is not the strength of ego or position or wealth. It is the deep, unshakable strength of the person who no longer needs to play. The person who is no longer afraid of their own company. The person who can sit in a room alone and not feel the need to run. You are not becoming antisocial. You are becoming anti-trivial. You are not withdrawing from life. You are withdrawing from the illusion. You are turning towards the real. This withdrawal is not an act of surrender. It is an act of profound courage. It is the first step towards claiming your own sovereign mind. And of course, this is where the conflict begins. The sleeping world does not like to be observed. It does not like to be seen. And most of all, it does not like those who have walked away from its game. Because your quiet authenticity is a mirror. And when they look at you, they do not see you. They see a reflection of their own noise, their own performance, and their own unlived lives. Your silence highlights their triviality. Your peace exposes their hidden anxieties, and this they cannot forgive. So they must find a way to dismiss you. They must give you a label to put you in a box so they can close the lid and not have to look at the truth you represent. They call you broken. They say you are too sensitive, and they say you are inadequate. They look at your depth and call it depression. They look at your discernment and call it judgment. They look at your refusal to play the game and call it arrogance or social anxiety. They tell you that you think too much, that you are too serious, that you need to lighten up and just be normal. But what is normal? To them, normal is to be asleep. Normal is to accept the illusion, to chase the hollow prizes, and to never ever question the game itself. You must understand this, and you must understand it deeply. This is the most important reframe you will ever make. The labels they give you are not a diagnosis of you. They are a confession of their own limitations. When a mind that lives on the surface, a mind that exists only in the realm of shallow chatter and comfortable illusions, encounters a mind of depth, it has only two choices. It can either question its own entire reality, which is terrifying, or it can pathologize the deeper mind. It must label you as ill to protect its own illusion of health. It must call you broken to protect its own fragile sense of wholeness. It is an act of self-preservation. Your depth is an unconscious threat to their comfortable, superficial world. They are not trying to hurt you. They are trying to save themselves from the truth you carry in your very being. So when they call you too sensitive, what they are really saying is, your ability to perceive the truth makes me uncomfortable. When they say you are broken or inadequate, what they are really confessing is, I am incapable of understanding your depth. Your wholeness does not look like my wholeness, and this frightens me. Their labels are a cage built from their own fear. You were never meant to live inside it. So let us discard their labels. Let us throw them away like the ill-fitting second-hand clothes they are. They were never yours to begin with. And let us instead look at what is actually true. This confusion, this deep pain you feel, does not arise from a flaw in you. It arises from a failure to understand the profound nature of what you are. Let us look then at the three great truths of your intuition. First, what they call inadequacy is not weakness, it is your clarity of perception. You feel inadequate because you are acutely, painfully aware of the gap. The gap between the world as it is and the world as your soul knows it could be. You are not insecure, you are simply clear. You see the untruth, you feel the dissonance. When someone speaks, you feel the space between their words and their true meaning. When you are in a room, you feel the unspoken emotions, the hidden agendas, and the quiet desperation. This is not a flaw, it is an instrument of profound precision. A violin string is sensitive. Is it broken, or is it simply tuned to a pitch that the crude, untuned world cannot match? You are tuned to the key of truth, and the overwhelming noise of the world's untruthfulness is what causes the discord you feel. They are playing out of tune, and you are the one who can hear it. This is not inadequacy. This is awareness. Second, what they call broken is not a flaw. It is your original perfection resisting a false world. You feel broken for one reason, and one reason only. You are a whole, authentic thing, trying to contort yourself into a shape that is false. Society hands you a mask from the moment you are born. It says, wear this, believe these things, want these prizes, feel these emotions. This is who you are. And your soul, your deep, original, authentic self refuses. That feeling of breaking is not you breaking, it is the mask breaking. It is the illusion shattering against the unyielding, unmovable truth of who you really are. Your so-called insecurity is the healthy, intelligent, vital protest of your deepest self. It is your soul screaming, I will not live this lie. I will not pretend to be this small false thing. You are not a shattered being. You are a whole being, forcefully rejecting that which is shattered and false. And third, what you call insecurity is not a sign to fix yourself. It is your intuition warning you. This is the very heart of the matter, that churning in your stomach, that vague, persistent feeling of wrongness that follows you into certain situations, certain jobs and certain relationships, That is not you being negative. That is not a character flaw that needs to be disciplined or fixed. It is your guidance system. It is your internal compass. It is the only true voice you have ever had. It is your intuition, whispering and sometimes shouting, "This is not for you. This path is a dead end. This person is not real. This opportunity is hollow. This is not your life." The sleeping world has taught you to silence this voice. It teaches you to call it anxiousness and to medicate it. It teaches you to call it fear and to push through it. It teaches you to call it insecurity and to find a new technique to fix it. But this voice is not the sickness, it is the cure. This voice is the only thing that is trying to guide you back to your own life. Your supposed flaw, this thing you have been trying to cut out of yourself, is in fact your greatest guide. This, then, is the cost of the reframe. To accept this truth, that your intuition is your guide, that your brokenness is your perfection protesting, is to accept a path that is, by its very nature, solitary. You must let go of the most addictive drug in the world, the hope of being understood by those who are still asleep. They will continue to misunderstand you. They will continue to offer you fixes for a problem you do not have. They will continue to see your depth as a darkness and your silence as a judgment. They will not be able to celebrate your authentic path because it reminds them of the one they did not take. And you must be willing to let them. You must be willing to walk your path, knowing that the crowd will not be walking with you. You must be willing to find your validation, not in their applause, but in the quiet, solid resonance of your own truth. The loneliness you feared was never the real problem. The real problem was the pain of self-betrayal, the exhaustion of trying to earn your place in a world that did not deserve you. The solitude of the awakened path is clean. It is clear. It is not the jagged, painful loneliness of a crowd. It is the deep, restorative solitude of the mountain, of the deep forest, of the ocean. It is the solitude of integrity. Living by this new, true diagnosis means you will have to disappoint people. You will have to say no to things that feel false. You will have to walk away from conversations that are noise. You will have to choose your own peace over their approval. This will be seen as an act of selfishness by the sleeping world, but you will know it is the most profound act of reverence. It is the honoring of the truth within you. This is the cost, and this is the great liberation. So, I give you permission. I give you permission to stop fixing yourself. You were never broken. You were and are a whole being waking up. You have permission to be quiet. You do not have to fill every silence with noise. You do not owe anyone an explanation for your peace. You have permission to walk away from the job, from the relationship, from the conversation that drains your soul. That feeling of inadequacy you feel, that is your intuition screaming, "This is not it." You have permission to listen to it and to obey. You have permission to trust that churning in your stomach. It is your wisest counselor. It is your infallible guide. It is not anxiety. It is your deep self speaking clearly. You have permission to disappoint them. You have permission to be misunderstood. You have permission to let them think you are too sensitive, too quiet, too much, or not enough. Their labels are their own cages. They are not your reality. You have permission, finally, to simply be. To be the deep, complex, perceptive, and authentic being that you are, without apology and without amendment. And that is the path of the real. If this journey into authenticity resonates with your own, I invite you to subscribe and turn on notifications, that we may continue to walk together in deeper understanding. Your path is not to fix what is broken, but to nurture what is real. Let your so-called inadequacy be your compass. Let it guide you away from the false and toward the true. When you feel that old familiar ache, do not see it as a sign of your failure. See it as a signal from your intuition. It is not warning you that you are wrong. It is warning you that you are in the wrong place. So walk quietly, walk confidently, not with the loud, brittle confidence of the ego, but with the deep, quiet certainty of the tree that knows its roots. You are not a project to be completed. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a truth to be inhabited. The feeling of brokenness was not the sickness. It was the first painful crack in the shell. It was the first light of your awakening.